to put in more stems. But I've got sort of this nice drapey effect. Okay, next I'm gonna come in with some of my pine pieces. So these little lovely guys. And again, I essentially want these pieces to be shorter than my cedar. So when I start kind of playing around with the length, I'm gonna put one piece in the top here. Again, I'm just cutting down my branches. I'm gonna put another piece in the top over here. You always want to be working with the natural arc of the branches. So you don't want to be like inserting the branches in this upright formation, or your centerpiece is going to end up looking a little bit wonky. So always work with the natural bend in your branches, and that will just help your arrangement be really aesthetically pleasing. So I'm sort of working my way along the top right now. I'm going to do 4 pieces. I always want to make sure that my stem is clear, at least to the 1st inch of any, like, it's bare, no greenery. And we can kind of see the arrangement starting to shape up a little bit. As well, I'm going to go through lower on the side of my oasis as well, and insert some of these pine pieces in between the cedar pieces that I did originally. I like the pine because you can literally cut like one little stem like this and insert it very easily. So pine's always really helpful that way. It fills out nicely. Or I've got like a 3-piece here, and it also works really well. So again, I'm going to continuously spin my arrangement so that I don't miss any sides, and that I'm going to have this nice, even proportion arrangement. This is the first one I've done this year, guys, so this is so fun and exciting. Okay, so I like how this is shaping up so far, and we're going to move into doing some filler. So again, you can see that I still have lots of my green oasis available for more stems. And I've got all of my branches naturally arcing down. And then I've started to get a little bit of height in the middle there, which I'll continue to build out. Looking so pretty though. Okay, so our 3rd boxwood pieces, these are really going to help sort of cover the green oasis floral foam that you saw in the last shot there. And I'm going to cut mine down. Again, I don't want this to be sticking up. I kind of want it to be in proportion to the rest of the greenery, which means shorter than the pine and the cedar that I've used on the outside. We can do some varying lengths. And again, I'm just gonna work my way around the arrangement, clearing some stem so that I've got space to put it in. And I'm just sort of aesthetically looking at my piece, seeing where some holes might need to be filled. As you keep going, you're gonna notice that it gets a little bit harder to put stems in because they start running into each other in the floral foam. So that's okay. You just have to sort of work around it. And sometimes at this point is when you might end up inserting a piece and needing to take it out to find a place for it that's not quite so crowded. I really like boxwood for giving us a textured look. And I'm just using even these individual stems and just clearing off some of the bottom leaves. I want to use as much as possible from all these little guys. starting to fill in and look quite lovely. Again, I'm not yet wanting to cover every single aspect of my green oasis because I still have flowers to insert. So you can see now that you can see way less of my green foam and that I've kept my boxwood pieces shorter than my other pieces. And then these spaces in here are where flowers are going to sit in really nicely. Okay, so as I mentioned, I really like using fir, spruce as sort of additional texture. So if you decide to grab a couple pieces of this, I'm gonna do the same sort of thing where I'm clearing some of the stems and I'm just sort of adding a couple pieces of these for some additional texture and elements to the arrangement. Again, maybe this is something where your backyard has some really nice evergreen trees, or maybe your neighbors are willing to let you snip a couple pieces from their tree. But I do really like the more elements, the more greenery, the more textured, the better. So I've added a few of those in. And then I've also gotten really lucky, and on some of my cedar pieces, I've got these beautiful seeds happening. So I want to incorporate those as well. With this cedar piece, it's far too long, so I'm cutting it in half. Gives me my two pieces. I'm going to take off some of the bottom pieces again, and then make sure that I'm inserting this where it's naturally cascading down. And I'm just going to find another little hole. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with my base so far. This kind of incorporates a lot of our greenery, and we're going to start talking about flowers.